Greetings, Naked News Guy here, and today I want to talk about my 27th political position, which is on child labor. Now, one might think child labor is a thing of the past, that, it's something we don't even have to talk about, but that's not the case. In the last 5 years, in several states that I know of, namely Arkansas and Florida, though I'm sure there are more, companies have been pushing for the quote-unquote relaxation of child labor laws. In Florida, for example, 16-year-olds can now work construction sites, they can now serve alcohol, they can now work in places that traditionally were reserved for adults. Here's the thing, they're not doing this to do anybody any favors. They're not doing it to teach people the value of work, which is something that some people think, people have forgotten, and maybe to a degree they're right. The reality is this. A 14-year-old could work for less money than an adult. And since illegal immigrants are being replaced, or at a minimum, it is becoming harder to hire these people, companies are bound to determine they're going to find their cheap labor one way or another. Most recently, I read about a 13-year-old boy working in a sawmill in Tennessee. A sawmill is a dangerous job, okay? It's a dangerous job for an adult. There's also been cases where children have been caught cleaning industrial machinery at, slaughterhouses. Children have been forced to work 60 or 70 hours a week. And the worst thing about it, in many cases, these children are not even old enough to cash their paycheck. So where is that money going? Very simple. It's going to their quote-unquote family. Here's the thing. Children should not be working. They should be in school. Okay? Pure and simple. Now, people are going to say, well, I need my kid to work. That's why children worked for many, many years. And that's why also entire families lived in a room in a tenement. Because when children work, it cheapens the labor for adults. That's one less adult that has a job, and it keeps company from having to hire their pay rates or raise their pay rates. There shouldn't be any child labor in this country. Pure and simple, nobody should be working a regular job until they are 16 years old and they are graduated from high school. Pure and simple. For those who are still in school, they should not be working a regular job. Because, again, all this is doing is taking away from their education, and it's also taking a job from an adult. And the more people that are in the labor pool, the less money people get paid. In a lot of places, children get paid a quote-unquote training wage, which is less than minimum wage. This needs to stop. And even worse, you have some parents who will take their kids out of school and make them get a job so they can put the money in their pocket. If you need help, it shouldn't come from your children. Like and subscribe.